Hello guys, welcome to JavaScript's complete guide from absolute beginner to advanced. In this episode, we will talk about the language itself, what is JavaScript and what it can do for you. This lesson or this episode is purely for absolute beginner. So if you have some knowledge or some experience with JavaScript, you will find this section being bored, but you can still hang around to refresh your brain. Okay. So before we continue, I would like to point out that this course you must have some knowledge in HTML and CSS. Not advanced knowledge in HTML and CSS, but the basic ones to able to get running with JavaScript. So if you don't have some knowledge in HTML and CSS, there's more resources online that can help you get familiar with these tools like HTML and CSS. So at this level, I believe that you have some knowledge in HTML and CSS. If you don't worry, you can still look around and see how it goes. Okay, so this section, like I said, the objectives are: 1, get familiarity with JavaScript; 2, what it can do for you; 3, how to set up JavaScript; 4, and create your first JavaScript project. Okay, so then let's get started. So what is JavaScript? Okay, what is JavaScript? You'll be hearing JavaScript and Java, and what at all is JavaScript? So JavaScript is a programming language that allows you to implement complex features on the web pages. Okay, I think this concept is a little bit maybe not practical, but you get to know it as you move on. And JavaScript is one of the 3 core technologies of web development. Okay, so anyone who wants to be a web developer, JavaScript is one of the most important tools you have to learn because JavaScript runs on the web. Okay, so let's say that you have some knowledge with HTML and CSS, and we have created a simple application with JavaScript, the style in CSS. But how can we add some functionalities to that HTML website that we have created? So JavaScript just is add some functionalities and some features on the web pages. And it says that today JavaScript can be used in different places. Okay, before the emergence of some technologies like Node.js and other languages, okay, JavaScript runs only on the client side, that is a browser itself. So before I continue, let me point out that Java and JavaScript are different things altogether. Java is not JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript simply means that adding some functionalities to your pages. When a user click button, something should happen. When you move around, this is all what JavaScript can do for you. Okay, and JavaScript, these days JavaScript can run on the server side as well, can create mobile application as well. Okay, so let's look at the next point. It says that it is a third layer of cake of standard web technologies, 2 of which HTML and CSS. Okay, so I believe you have some knowledge in HTML and CSS. So when you design your HTML and CSS, let me say that the HTML is called the nouns. Okay, the nouns that give the HTML gives you the skeleton of your application. Okay, how the whole thing is structured, and adjectives means maybe adding some styles, the colors make it beautiful, of that sort. That is for CSS. Okay, and JavaScript is a verb. You know, if for English, when you say verb, something that do some action. Okay, so all the actions that you want to be done on your web, okay, you need to use what is called JavaScript for what? Interactivity. Okay, so let's move on. And what can JavaScript do for you? 1 is store useful values inside variables. I'll talk about that later on. operations on piece of text, example changing text color, performing some events. Is used in both client and server side, much more ready API to use. Okay, so if you look at these pictures, okay, the browser is the environment that you are going to run our JavaScript. Okay, and it says that it has some third-party APIs. I don't want to bore you with this third API for now. So take it that JavaScript can help you to store variables. I'll talk about variables after this section, and operations on piece of text. Okay, so for example, if you have a certain site, so let me quickly move on to show you a certain site. Okay, let me say a website that let's say we can explain better of what I'm talking about. So assuming that let's visit let's say W3 schools, okay, for example. Okay, and you can see that, let's go back again and then let me show you where is my PowerPoint. Okay, it's here. Okay, so it says that it stores useful information and performing some events like click. I'll talk about that. For now, let's assume that you don't know anything about what I'm talking about. So as you proceed on, I will explain this concept and it will be clear to you. Okay, so now let's move on. Talk about JavaScript. So I have talked about the introduction of JavaScript, the meaning of JavaScript, and what it can do for you. Okay, in the next lesson, we will talk about the tools we need to write our first JavaScript. Thanks for watching.